In today's episode, we'll take a look at Bitcoin, Polkadot, and GALA. Nike, in the news, broadens its metaverse activities. Myanmar government adopts Tether, USDT as official currency. And can blockchain technology disrupt higher education? Stack Nation, it's your boy Brazen. Welcome back to another episode. Let me get my headphones on, right? Our boy Double O is in Nigeria. Should be joining us back pretty soon here. But with no further ado, let's jump into the action here. First, we'll be looking at Bitcoin. Wrong page. First, we'll be looking at Bitcoin. Currently trading at 47,600 and some odd dollars there. Now, we can see that Bitcoin has been in a bit of a downtrend for the past month, really. After hitting a high of $69,000, it's pulled back about 32% ever since, currently trading at that $47,000 there, of course. Now, we can see that we're creating these lower highs all the time, and we did come back to retest around that 50K price point there, but failed. So we continue to drop. From previous analysis that we did, we set our support level there, the next logical support level to the downside. Well, support is always to the downside. The next support level is going to be around $42,000 if this does not work out. And the interesting thing as well is that if you look at our Fibonacci retracement here, it is sitting, it is sitting upside down. First of all, just give me a second here. I'm going to reverse that. Okay, so the Fibonacci extension is sitting right there at that $42,000 as well, which is pretty interesting. Of course, on December 4th, right, Bitcoin did drop all the way down to about $42,000 for a little bit, then it pulled back up, and it's been holding the support there above that 0.236 Fibonacci retracement line for a little while. That is before it dropped below it. Looking at our moving averages, we're definitely trading below the 200-day moving average, which is definitely signs of weakness in the asset at this point in time. The 20-day moving average is also below the 50 and the 100. So very bearish. I would say this is the bear market for Bitcoin, right? I don't know about everything else, but I mean, well, actually most of the market is also below that 200-day moving average. So what I'm doing at this point in time is really just averaging down, really just buying some more Bitcoin. This is a great opportunity. If we see that 42K there, definitely that's where my main limit order is sitting at. So we'll be keeping an eye on that to see how that goes. And of course, the TTM looking very weak, pulling back to the downside. But it's interesting because if we look at the awesome oscillator here, it is showing that there's some purchasing volume coming in. Of course, I would assume that everyone or many people are averaging in or averaging down their positions, right, on Bitcoin, if the bottom at the top, that is, or they're just loading some more because it's a cheaper price. So definitely an interesting place to be seeing Bitcoin right now. I don't think we'll be seeing that 100K this year. We've also done a video about that. You could definitely check that down in the description below. I'll leave a link to that video, or actually I might put it up here. So moving on, the next coin we're going to be looking at here is Polkadot. Now, Polkadot is one of those blockchains that is heavily focused on interoperability, right? It was an all-time high. It was at an all-time high of $55 about and 3 cents, but ever since then it's been pulling back, also falling below the 200-day moving average. The 20-day is also below the 50 and 100-day moving average, and now below the 200-day moving average. So this is very weak. If we look at the VPVR, which is essentially a volume indicator. Now this volume indicator mostly shows it plots the significant price points, right, based on volume. So typically it would give you like a suggested support line as well, and that support line will be showing where there is the most trading activities within that asset. So as we can see here, that support line is around that $28 price point there. That would generally be a good place to be getting in based on the price action in the time frame shown on the screen, right? So I've been loading some Polkadot as well. It's just sitting right there above that 0 Fibonacci extension line, right? Seems to be holding some support right there at $23. Definitely a great opportunity to be loading, because this is one of those blockchains that I think long term should be able to perform pretty good. If we look at the 4-hour chart as well, we will see that we actually have so I'm running another indicator called the MACD strategy, and essentially what it does is it indicates entry and exit points based on the AI's analysis of what is going on the chart. So the blue arrows, right, will be your entry points, and the red arrows will be your exit points. Currently, we're seeing a red arrow there. And generally, when that happens, we tend to see the price drop further down. So I'll be keeping an eye out on that. It would be cool to get some Polkadot for much cheaper than I have it right now. I would say that much. So very, very interesting stuff there. Also trading way below the 200-day moving average, the 100-day moving average, which is the teal line we see there, and of course the 50 and the 20. Moving on, GALA is a new one. So for me, GALA is a new coin. I actually came across it over the weekend while I was just doing some reading. This is one of those gaming tokens, and the reason I'm interested in GALA right now is because, you know, as we know, the metaverse is a big thing. The metaverse is something that everyone is definitely getting into. Speaking of the metaverse, I was in Decentraland recently over the weekend. Very interesting stuff. Decentraland was cool. Okay. It would have been even more dope. I think what would have really made that experience cooler was if I had VR glasses, and that would have been something else. So definitely, if you guys have not checked out Decentraland yet, definitely check it out. It's worth checking out. You can talk to people and all that good stuff. But of course, as we know, paid gaming, right, or pay to play, is it pay to play? Yeah, well, paid gaming is one of those things that is really moving up in the crypto space right now. So GALA, well, they make blockchain games that you would actually like to play. So the website is here. I'm going to drop the link to this in the description if you guys are interested in checking this one out. I thought it's pretty cool. Of course, I'm not much of a gamer myself, but it's always cool to, you know, be in the loop with these things. No, let me take that back. I am a gamer. I just only play F1. So if they somehow get Formula One racing on the blockchain and pay people to play it, then I'm buying a steering wheel and I'm gonna be online roasting the skids 24/7. So anyway, let's take a look at the price action here on GALA. Currently trading at 50 cents is where GALA is at. Now, if you are familiar with the ICO patterns, and this kind of shows up on a lot of coins over time, they're either trading sideways for a very long time, or they start off pretty high and then they just drop forever. Then at some point they go sideways for a very long time before they rip to the upside, depending on the news as well, depending on what happens. So GALA is definitely one I'm going to start loading up on. Right now it's moving sideways, right? Nothing too exciting there, but we know that gaming is one of those things that are going to be huge in the metaverse, and getting paid to play games is definitely something that a lot of gamers are interested in. So I am very excited to see how this one goes. It's one of those coins that I'm watching right now, just keeping an eye on it. Still trading very cheap. I think there could be an opportunity there if it goes as expected. So definitely do your own research. None of this is financial advice. We are not financial advisors here, but I think that GALA is definitely a coin that is worth looking at as well, right? Blockchain gaming, definitely good stuff. Moving on to the news then. Nike steps further into the metaverse by buying NFT Sneaker Studio. The shoe and apparel giant is expanding its metaverse footprint. Ready to take its next step into the metaverse, Nike announced it has acquired RTFKT Studios, a digital art studio focusing on sneaker-themed non-fungible tokens, NFTs, and collectibles using the Ethereum blockchain. You'll get burned by gas fees, is what I see. Here's the thing. Look, there was a conference in Vegas over the weekend, and one of the founders of Ethereum was asked about the gas fees on Ethereum. And look, I get it. Ethereum is a very successful blockchain. and maybe it's going to come down to layer 2 applications helping the gas price situation. But I think the lack of urgency, the lack of sense of urgency that we're seeing from the Ethereum team when it comes to slashing these gas prices or fixing this issue, it's interesting. It's very interesting. I'm not sure what their game plan is, but again, I don't really complain about it too much because you always have the option to use a blockchain that does not have such atrocious gas fees. Maybe one day the other blockchains will run up in gas fees, but I don't think it's ever going to catch up to the level that Ethereum is at, right? But all good. So we're acquiring a very talented team of creators with an authentic and connected brand. Nike president and CEO John Donahue said in the press release, "Our plan is to invest in the RT-FKT brand, serve and grow the innovative and creative community, and extend Nike's digital footprint and capabilities." For those who are Nike heads, this is some very exciting stuff. This is pretty cool. Most of these things, I mean, do I feel like I'm going to use them? No, but I think at some point, stuff like this is only going to help with adoption, right? Getting people excited about the blockchain, getting people familiarized with the technology, right? Trying out new things. I think when you see most cool technologies like Instagram, for example, right? When Instagram started, it was just a bunch of people posting pictures of their food and random things. Personally, I posted a couple pictures of the sky. Not that everyone has not seen the sky before, but then over time, right, as people use these things, they start finding use case, because ultimately the technology is useless if humans don't use it. So humans have to get in there, and maybe it starts off with something very simple like this, just buying some collectibles, exchanging these NFTs, trading and stuff like that, and then people start finding more and more use cases that applies to their personal life or our lives in general. So I think that's pretty cool of Nike, man. Keep on trucking. National Unity Government of Myanmar recognizes stablecoin Tether as official currency. An unofficial government in Myanmar, led by former leader Aung San Suu Kyi, has moved to recognize Tether as a stablecoin as official currency. In Myanmar, a government led by those faithful to Aung San Suu Kyi, the former state councillor of Myanmar, the de facto title for head of government. Okay, so the state councillor is the head of government in Myanmar. We got that. Has recognized Tether as an official currency per Bloomberg. Now, as I read this, the first thing that comes to my mind is why Tether? And I'm sure many of us watching also know why we would ask why Tether, right? But we'll get into it. Let's continue. The National Unity Government, NUG, as the entity is called, reportedly made its announcement today. Tether will be for domestic use to make it easy and speed up the current trade and services payment systems. The NUG Finance Minister Tin Tung Yang, I'm getting good at this name, Tim Tum Yang reportedly said the National Unity Government lost power in Myanmar. Okay, so obviously over time, now this is in the past, right? The military, which is kind of shocking to me, but I guess the military in Myanmar declared a state of emergency. Then there was a takeover of power by the head of the military in Myanmar, and of course there is now a rebellion, right? A force fighting back against this. They do not want the military regime to carry on with leading the country. So one of the things they're doing here, and there's two things that I think is worth noting here. For one, when countries are going through difficult times, right? Going through crisis, such as Myanmar here, blockchain technology seems to come to the rescue. Blockchain technology seems to be a more efficient way to transact and carry on with exchanging value. Because the traditional banks will be closed generally. No one is going to be going to work when there's a war outside. However, blockchain technology is still going to be up and running because you're still going to have your phone. This means you can send money to your loved ones to remove themselves from the area. or whatever the case might be. So in this case, right, I think that it is cool that we're able to see, because I'm assuming in this situation that this is the reason why they decided to go with Tether, because the second part of this is that we know that there are better coins out there than Tether. Not in case of performance, but in the case of transparency. As we know, Tether used to claim that the USDT was backed by $1, 1-for-1, right? But then later on, it was found out that it's actually not the case. And now maybe only 3% of the USDT out there is backed by the dollar. So it would leave me to question, why did they choose USDT? Right? The USDT approached the local government there. Did they really do their research? Right? Nonetheless, this is the coin they've chosen to go with. And man, it seems they're definitely going through a rough time there. And we hope that this helps. I'll definitely be watching to see if I can find out more about how it's being used, because this is one of those situations where we've always said on the show, Ken and I've always said on the show, this is one of those situations where blockchain technology will help countries that are in crisis or third world countries to maintain that economic presence as well. So pretty cool stuff. Not the violence going on in the country though, just the blockchain use. Blockchain can disrupt higher education today and global labor market tomorrow. Blockchain can play its part in the education sector, record keeping in 2 to 3 years, and then adoption by the labor market. Okay. In the post-pandemic world, individuals need to seize ownership and control of their educational credentials. Documents like degrees and transcripts from schools, universities, and governments. The notion received the key support last week from the American Council on Education in a study funded by the United States Department of Education, focusing on the use of blockchain in higher education. This is pretty cool. Man, I'm trying to think of when I heard about this. Right, Cardano. So Cardano is doing something similar in, I think it's in Ethiopia. Okay, Atala Prism. That is what it is, right? This is what it's called on Cardano. So I think this is something that the US should have already been on this for a very long time, because the education system we have right now is flawed. Seems to just be a massive money grab. Most of the country is in debt because of universities. However, so I guess really I'm really digging deeper than just being the ability to take control of our transcripts and degrees and things like that, because well, most of the universities these days, you can attend them online. I took a whole semester. Here's the interesting thing. I took a whole semester of macroeconomics on YouTube from MIT. Now, most people will not recognize it as a legitimate, form of education. But I would bet to differ, because I sat there in my living room and I watched multiple courses, right, of macroeconomics recorded in the MIT classrooms, right? And the students were sitting there who paid, I don't know how much for the classes, but I was watching it on my couch, okay, while eating some fries and taking some notes. The knowledge is in my head now. It does not matter if I went to MIT or not. I know what I know. It is what it is. However, this will not be recognized anywhere else, right? But the information is useful. I've used it to my advantage and it works. It's not gonna not work because I don't have the degree. So I think it would be really cool if through blockchain technology we can totally change the education system, because I think the only idea that really comes to my mind right now is having coursework on the blockchain. And if someone is able to go through the coursework and solve certain problems, right, then they can get awarded credits for the work that they've done, to recognize them to be certified in whatever it is they've done, right? So for example, if I took this macroeconomics course online and solved some problems online, then I could have a degree in macroeconomics on the blockchain, which can be recognized by everyone else, because you will not be able to complete the course without actually knowing the content. So I think this is pretty cool. I think that this is the start of something much bigger, right? And over time, we'll see how this goes. Please let me know in the comments below, what do you think are some other cool uses that we could apply the blockchain for? What do you think are some other cool uses for the blockchain? If you had any ideas, if you had to come up with some great ideas which you will implement on the blockchain, what would that be for you? Let me know in the description below. Well, that'll be it for this one. Hey, double up. We'll hope to see you soon, brother. He should be coming back soon. His trip to Nigeria is almost done. And I would like to take this time out, of course, to thank each and every one of you for watching our videos. Thanks for subscribing to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We'll continue to drop the content as much as we can. And of course, Christmas is coming up. So hope everyone has a beautiful, amazing Christmas with family. Great time with family. Until next time, brazen out.